And welcome back to Tight Sports. Welcome back to Tight Sports. I have taken the time for your listening pleasure to look into this whole college football thing. Number one, who do we blame for the FSU snub or the Alabama entry? I think the Alabama entry is, I think that's illegal in a couple of states. But who do we blame? You can blame the committee, but I've come up with 11 others. 11 other entities, people, persons, things, places, situations, reasons. 10 other reasons that you can blame for FSU snub or the old Alabama entry into the college football playoff. Number one on that list, Texas. Yep. I'm going to blame Texas. I mean, Texas, man, what was that? Thank you, Texas, for beating Alabama in the first place. But if you just went on, laid it on down, left Ewers on the sideline or fumbled the ball here or there, you wouldn't have beat us. Because the problem with you beating us is you kind of created this situation, this environment of all the bile and the spew, the vulgar things that people are saying about the University of Alabama, which we didn't put ourselves in the playoffs. Somebody opened the door. But not only did you beat us, you turn around and you lose to Oklahoma. You lost to Oklahoma. Why? You could have avoided all this mess. It just lost to us. And we could have just moonwalked on in to the playoffs. Undefeated. But maybe you were the catalyst for us turning everything around. I don't know. Number two. Everybody got people in their family that they're ashamed of or they don't roll with too tight.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But I'm going to mention my homeboys for a second. University of Alabama's homeboys at North Alabama. Yeah. Jordan Travis. Not a laughing matter. He was hurt during the game against North Alabama. Would FSU be in this mess if it wasn't for North Alabama? I know. LT didn't do that to Joe Theismann. This person didn't mean for that to happen. But North Alabama had a role in the injury for Jordan Travis. Would Alabama, being the SEC champ, still be in the college football playoffs if Jordan Travis had never been hurt? It's a good question that we don't have to answer today, but I bet you one thing, Michigan would be in trouble, though. Michigan would be in trouble. We'll talk about that a little later. Number three, Brian Kelly. Golly. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly got number one offense in the country and a pitiful defense. Just pitiful. Awful. How long, America? How long are we going to let this man just show up and present teams, historically strong teams, with no defense? I mean, when you think about it, do I want to say this? Not even trying to have a defense is kind of almost un-American.
Oh, no.
There's Notre Dame defense, all offense. Now, people probably went to the pros off that defense and they're probably all pro by now once they got away from him. You can't hire a defensive coordinator, or what are you hiring, like grad students, 1 year experience, letting them coach the defense because he don't even care about it. Now, we already know this is my number one, but these are not in they are in kind of order. But number four, you looking for somebody to blame? Blame UGA. UGA for not taking the SEC championship. By them not winning, they created this vortex that somebody had to fill. Somebody had to clean up after them. And just being wishy-washy all year long. I mean, all the game reviews for August, most of them, they're big games. It starts with like, almost, it was close. And early, there was a competition. What? Auburn, USC, Missouri, Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky hung in there for a while. Till it just finally fell apart. So if you want to blame somebody for the FSU snub, take a look at the people in Athens. Don't look at them directly in the face, because just look over to Athens. Don't look exactly like at many of the people in Athens. It's kind of difficult. Number 5, the Alabama haters. Yep. Give them a little boot. That's right. The real haters, the ones that hate for the sake of the science of hating. When it comes to college football, which is sort of like the scene from Ghostbusters, when the that evil spirit told him, said, "Choose the form of the destructor." He was like, "What?" This is what they do. They put Alabama in their head, and guess what happens? Guess what happens when you're a Arizona fan, or you like a Memphis fan, or a South Carolina fan, or if you're a Syracuse or Penn State fan. They don't have nothing to do with nothing, but you got Crimson Tide living in your brain. And guess what happens? Now you mad. Oh, Alabama's in the game. It's in the game. You have to stop allowing the University of Alabama Crimson Tide from living in your heads rent-free. Because the Crimson Tide nation living in your head, they're in there. They got the water running. You got the TV turned all the way up. And, we put like every mail order club in your name. They just got bottles showing up. I got music. I got the little soaps of the year, bath soaps, everything. We just ordered everything in your name. We are the tenant from Haiti. Your mental capacity would be better served, but you're thinking on something else. Like really. Just worry about something else. Mind your business. Number 6, the University of Tennessee, for making people believe that you had reestablished yourself as a national power when all along you were just executing an exhaustive farce. Look, Smokey, you get back in that weak corner of the SEC East and just wait on permission to leave. Now, you better stay on that paper, too. Smokey, get on the paper. Get on the paper, Smokey. No poo-pooing on TV again. None. Sit. Get over there. My personal favorite, number 7, Jimbo Fisher, who pulled off the largest thing in college football history. Leading Aggie Nation to believe they had a chance to be the next great dynasty. Hey, all along, man, this man entered a job making $72 million. You ever been on a contract? Worked on a contract? They say, we're going to pay you $20,000 for your services. Oh, cool. And then you get that 20. You get most of that 20. Then they say, man, just get out of here, man, and we're going to give you $20,000 just to leave. No, you probably haven't, because it don't happen. This man entered the job making $72 million and then walked out the back door 5 years later with $72 million. Have people believe he's going to take Alabama out. I'm going to keep taking them out. We got what it takes. We got what it takes to win, and we're gonna win. We're gonna beat them. Yep, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna keep beating them. Didn't happen. But what did happen? $72 million. A sting so sweet. I should have just inserted like rag music here from the movie The Sting. Just that little rag music. You got to be into the rag thing. Texas A&M is the same team they were before he got there. Shout out to your coach, Kevin Sumlin. And Jimbo, give me a call when you get back from Bora Bora, Japan, Beijing, Fiji, some more. Hey, man, I ain't trying to be funny. I like to work, but the man should be blackballed. Get him out of here, man. Don't bring him back. Sometimes, some folks, and I don't know if y'all was into like chicken dumplings, right? So when it was me, my family, we made chicken dumplings. Everybody knew how much they could get. But if it was the same amount of chicken dumplings and some of my cousins show up, or some friends of my mom show up, or some, maybe even friends of mine, which I ain't call them on dumpling night. Everybody knew how to get how much out the pot. Jimbo is that dude that show up in your house. You know everybody's supposed to get maybe a bowl and a half. Man, Jimbo got 3 bowls starting out before he even sit down. He eating, standing up, food falling out of his mouth. He ruining the cornbread or whatever you got to go on the side. He got crumbs off his mouth all up in the doggone Kool-Aid. Jimbo, he's not a good house guest. And when it comes to college football coaches, Jimbo got too much out the pot. He should be blackballed. Never again. Never again. Never forget. Number 8. Number 8. Auburn University. Auburn University I'm going to say it. I'm going to say
Oh, no.
Rough on him now.
No, he needs to know.
They gotta know.
He's always crying.
They always
tough love
crying.
it is. Tough love. Wake up, idiot.
Wake up, idiots. Auburn University, that was the worst defense I have ever seen in the last minute of a football game. Matter of fact, that was the worst defense that's ever been seen in the last minute of a football game in human history. Who told a linebacker to mirror a quarterback 40 yards from the goal line with 80 of your teammates behind you? You think he was going to run 40 yards right past you? Do you think you may want to go apply some pressure? At least run out the clock? Dude, it was 4th down. I don't think he's that fast. He's that strong. Don't think he's that fast to get by everybody. Milroe's a bad man, but dog, the entire field, I'm just going to say this. The entire field of Jordan-Hare Stadium is cursed. It's cursed, folks. Former player Eric Ramsey, I am saying this. I'm saying allegedly this man cursed this whole field. If you don't know who Eric Ramsey is, look that up. It's a great dramatic read. Many people think that we are not deserving to be in the college football playoffs because 7 days before, just show how this curse works, 7 days before the Iron Bowl, Auburn lost to, I think, an unranked New Mexico State team by 21 points.
Oh no.
Now, that made me think that we had to beat them by 21 points or more, or at least it would be easier getting to maybe like 21 points, somewhere close to there. No. Now, Auburn didn't lose 21-0. They lost 31-10. Here's my suggestion. Destroy Jordan-Hare Stadium before somebody else gets hurt. Just before somebody else gets hurt. You've been hurt. We've been damaged. Remember the kick six? Get the kick six? Kick six. Now you got to live with the nightmare at Jordan-Hare. I am happy to report that many of the Aubies out there are getting the counseling help they need following that disaster. And that's really a blessing to hear about. You got to keep everything smooth in there. I know I do. Number 9. ESPN and its cauldron of talking heads who lied to all of you, to you, not me. I don't listen to them that much. I try my best. I stick some screwdrivers in my ears to keep from listening to people. I stopped listening to them a decade ago. when they start intermingling social stuff and politics on top of your sports, and then the biasness set in. I don't want to hear their opinions on criminality. I don't want to hear their opinions on marriage. I don't even want to hear them do the good stories where this player went out and helped this community get. I don't want to hear what I find out from Drew Brees himself what he did for New Orleans. I don't want ESPN telling me nothing. They made you guys think they knew exactly what was going to happen. And they did. ESPN is owned by the Rat King of Florida, who convinces families that riding through previously viewed movie sets using CGI, flashing lights, and the largest wide screens you can find is not only actually entertainment, but that you should forfeit a year or two of your retirement money to do so. Ain't nowhere in the world. The fat rat is a money hog, and if the fat rat's grip on college football is not a violation of the Sherman Act, then there's never been a violation of the Sherman Act. And when I say Sherman Act, I mean a monopoly. How in the world can ESPN be in control of almost literally all college football? We're even talking about any of the D2 stuff you see. You know what I'm saying? How is that even possible? We got to, well, we don't want these cell phone companies. Oh, we don't want these computer companies. Hey, man, how about the TV screen? How about we stop having about 5 games scheduled at the same time on the same network? How is that even possible? I don't care how much money they got. But don't worry, we're going to get back to the fat rat in a minute. If you don't know who the fat rat is, take a look at it down there in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, the governors down there got a beef with him. But my beef is totally different. It has nothing to do with that guy. Number 10.
Are busy. Please hold.
Now, many of you have looked at the committee and said, you know, why are there so many conference ties or school associations for the people of the committee? They're colluding with ESPN. But have you ever thought about who put the committee together? The people on this committee were selected by 5 conference committees from the Power 5. Now, that's another thing. I don't know if you ever looked up to see how many conferences are, but there's about 11 conferences. I don't know why the other 6 people are. Everybody paid dues to be in the NCAA. I don't understand how the Power 5 even became the Power 5 other than you want to ignore people. Not a Power 5. Interestingly enough, it becomes the Power 4, right? Pac-12 going away. As we know it, got 2 teams left. That's another video for another time. But whenever you put a committee together, you also get them instructions on how to operate based on what I learned from my experiences in volunteer groups and, watching the government do their thing. Their instructions sound not just rather vague, but they void any common sense or rationale when they're explained to the public. But it's like, how do you explain to the country that I would let my grandparents play naked flag football in snow wearing bobby socks if it was going to make the most money? I mean, how do you explain that to people? Huh? There's one thing that's clear. They must generate as much money as they can, because that did not happen with TCU versus Michigan. TCU versus Michigan was awful. It was a debacle of a game. The TCU game was a debacle, and the final game was a catastrophe. They missed out on too much money. The goal is to make as much money as you can every quarter, and when the game is a blowout in the first quarter, the advertisers don't want to lose no money. So they got them contracts set up. They got triggers and caps and paybacks and all this stuff sitting there. They say, if the game is looking like trash in the second half, contractually, these mechanisms set in to whether either I don't pay for that or I don't get shown in the third quarter and you go take a lesser offer to make money. But if the ratings are up, but the ratings were down. Does anybody remember the second half of the championship game? No, you don't. As an SEC fan, I watched Georgia. I watched Georgia play football, but I'm not about to watch Georgia abuse grown men. I'm telling you, the fat rat is bleeding money from playing for useless stars at ESPN because they don't play no ball. They're just talking. I mean, you can go in the street and get a good conversation about sports. I know you can. Probably cost you less in gas money riding around to find those people every week than it is paying any of them people on there running their mouth. They losing money from dismal Disney Plus revenue. Yeah, that thing ain't growing. Like, mommy, I want to get Disney Plus. Okay, here you go. This is spring 2022. Spring 2023. Mommy, I'm done. What do you mean? You watched? What you mean you done with this? I watched everything they have, mommy. They done nothing. Well, son, it took me from age 4 to age 16 to watch everything Disney. I mean, yeah, mom, you older. Box office movie plops and flops. See, some of them were flops. But if you ever been around a pastor long enough, some things plop. That'll hit you in a minute. And let's not forget the dismal amusement park revenues, you know. So no way the fat rat is going to let millions slip through his hands again like last year. So do you think not having Jordan Travis would impact that type of scenario? Sadly, you better believe it does. It's the absolute truth. And I'm going to give ESPN one of these. And Disney, the fat rat. Got to get the fat rat out your life, people. Last but not least, number 11 on my list, the Big Ten Conference. I know. I don't need your applause, people. The children love me. That's right, I said it. People are like, Big Ten? What are they talking about? Big Ten, Michigan. I'm not sure why no one points out the fact that Michigan or the Big Ten should not be playing anywhere near the college playoffs every year. To be, honest, compared to Ohio State, at least they wiggling on the line for when these monsters from the SEC come out to eat. But I guess everybody is going to ignore what TCU did to Michigan last year. Just like the ACC, they just talking this year. Like, ACC, they were weak. Some people who agree with the FSU snub, the ACC was weak, and this and that. Well, check this out. When was the last time the Big Ten actually won a championship? Would it surprise you to know that it was 2014 with Ohio State? Mm-hmm. The Big Ten has 2 titles since 1998 when the BCS started. Because all that stuff with the UPI, the AP, we want to talk about how many times Alabama was snubbed under that scenario? How many times Alabama went out there, bled, and was undefeated? Maybe I think one time in the 70s. And they didn't even say you ain't get no UPI, you ain't get no New York Times or Wall Street Journal, one of them. We didn't get no title. You get away from here. Get away from here, you Alabama. Anyway. The Big Ten has 2 titles. ACC has 4. That's right. Florida State won twice. Clemson won twice. The Pac-10 has 2. Yet ain't nobody crying for nobody flinches one eyelash when the Pac-12 who has 2 titles since 1998, they get snubbed all the dang time. Nobody says a word. The Pac-10 Pac-12, I'm old. Pac-12 has been left out of the playoffs 7 of 9 years. Ain't nobody said nothing about it. Always, they got one lost team. They're not going to get on it. They always compare like Pac-12 can't get in. Hey, we got to put an SEC team in. We got to put Big 12 team in. They always comparing us to us. Compare the Pac-12 to the Big 10. There's many years I could have seen putting a Pac-12 team in instead of a Big Ten team, but you ain't gonna see that for some reason. 7 of 9 years, they have been left out of college football, and we wonder why they're closing for business. That's another issue.
Mischievous and deceitful, chicanerous and deplorable.
TCU got Michigan out of their element, had them into a shooting match, and they thought they were going to survive. They didn't. So if Michigan had won the game, what do you think was going to happen when they played the University of Georgia? They're going to take the same beat down. It's time for people to begin to see that the Big Ten is indeed a fraud. Everyone says the Big Ten is a great conference, and nobody questions that until this day. I'm going to question it. It's like they control the media and set the narrative or something, but the play on the field has not lived up to their message, leaving fans with nothing but empty words, in their heads. Like, we great, right? Perhaps, I'm going to put it in a better way. Like Coach Saban would say to these people, like, they out there eating the rat poison. So would I take an undefeated FSU over Michigan? Yes. But Jordan, only if Jordan Travis was playing. Because rats got to eat. And spreading rat poison is rather expensive. And that's all I got on it here at Tight Sports. Y'all have a good one.